All right. I'll keep an eye out for any like messages of people struggling, but we are into our first game. Hello there. So real quick, just to get everyone kind of on the up and up of how this works. So the way this tournament works is the way we make it like a tabletop tournament is that in tabletop Warhammer Fantasy, you had to submit your armies before the tournament, and you would not know what maps you were playing on, who your opponent was, what armies were going to be showing up to the tournament. So you would basically create your army in advance. All right. So basically that's the format we're using for this, is that people have to submit their army list before the tournament begins, and you play that army through the entire tournament. And it's a best of one series. So if you lose a game, you're out. So there's only one game per series, which makes it very, very fast. Generally speaking, it is the fastest format in Total War Warhammer, which is good, you know, because it gets us through very, very quickly. So that's kind of the gist, is that everyone has to submit their armies before the tournament begins, and you cannot change it. Once you've submitted it, you're locked in. You can't change anything. So, for instance, Saurus Blood and his opponent here are both, they're doing Tomb Kings and High Elves, and the list they have, that's all they get. It doesn't change. All right, I have a message. Let me make sure nothing's on fire. Oh, gotcha. I'll get you later then. All right, we're just waiting for Saurus Blood to load in. Yes, everything is best of one, including the finals. Everything is best of one. What's the prize? This one's got there's a $20 prize, and then just, you know, guts and glory. I might add in some more fun things later, but this tournament was kind of very last second, because it took us a little bit longer than I would have liked to get everything I needed for it. But we're gonna be doing this tournament weekly, not next week, but the week after next week, on Saturdays, and those are probably gonna have larger prize pools. Because I'm usually pretty big on prize pools. Hopefully Saurus Blood can make his way in here. Real quick, let me get caught up on all these. Maxwell 54545, thanks so much for the 4 months of Prime. John Cole, thanks so much for the 11 months. And ooh, gosh, that is a long time to be at work, my dude, John Cole. But thanks for dropping by. Solmito, thanks for the 7 months. Simon Sek, thanks for the 11 months. Ty Lane, thank you so much for the 13 months. Best of luck preparing for your Wolfrup session. And then CD Thomas 95, thanks so much for the tier 1 sub. And Finray, thanks for the 3 months of Prime. Oh, no. Okay, we were waiting on RTK. All right, so Saurus Blood was already in here. We were waiting on RTK. Okay. So, we're just going to very quickly go over the list. So, RTK is showing up with the High Elves. He's got an Archmage of Life on an Eagle with the Armor of Stars, and Dwellers Below is his only spell. Then he's got a good few units of archers. Oh, gosh. I need to make, before the next tournament, I think I'm going to try and get an overlay made where I can have everybody's army list, and then I can just, like, throw them up. But we'll just look at the starting army for right now. He's got a Metal Mage with only Plague of Rust on foot. He's got a unit of Sisters of Avalorn. Looks like we've got about 4 units of Archers, 3 units of White Lions. Oh, no, I think that's... Is that 4 units of Archers or 5 units of Archers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of Archers. Okay. And then he's also got a unit of Illyrian Reavers. Meanwhile, over here, we've got Archon the Black leading the Tomb Kings. He's got both of his items, the Tomb Blade, Libra Mortis. He's got Spirit Leech. He's got, let's see, the Kepra Guard shoring up his front line, along with King Neketch's Scorpion Legion, 2 Skeleton Warriors, Skeleton Spears, 2 Shopti with bows, one of which being the Chosen of the Gods, 2 Catapults, and Toongar with halberds down on the bottom side. Ooh, gosh. Super Ego, you should not be getting any ads. That should not be happening at all. Hopefully they're not waiting on me. Okay, good. I was like, all right, so we're off. All right, so the High Elves do have a significant, you know, they've got a slightly larger starting army. but the Tomb Kings, of course, are going to be shoring up with that with vastly superior range. They've got artillery, they've got Ushapti great bows. Saurus Blood is definitely a player I'm familiar with, and the RTK clan I'm familiar with. And we will go see how things go. Hope you're all doing well today. I do appreciate y'all being here. For anyone that shows up late or maybe misses a part of the tournament for any reason, this will be re-uploaded on YouTube immediately afterwards, or very close to immediately afterwards. So worst case scenario, you can always catch any highlights and such there. And we might even like split up matches and stuff, but the whole thing will be put up uninterrupted with timestamps after the tournament. All right, so here we see that we got a little bit of early exchange going on. The Tomb Kings have summoned in a unit of Carrion to help deal with that Archmage. Carrion are pretty nasty. I always am like shocked at how efficient Carrion are at really dominating air battles. So it's going to be interesting to see if the High Elves brought any way to really answer that. I mean, of course, she could always just land on the ground near friendly units to protect her, but we've only got about 25 seconds left until the objectives open, and we will see what happens. Got 10 seconds left. And yeah, so just a reminder for anyone that's just kind of joining us or coming in late. Basically, this is a tournament format where you have to submit your armies before the tournament without knowing any of the stuff that you should see. So you're not going to know what your opponent's armies are, what the maps are, any of that. And once the match begins, ooh, we got a really nice Dwellers Below on that Screaming Skull Catapult. Oh my gosh, yeah, that Screaming Skull Catapult just instantly deleted. Dragged down into the abyss. Oh my gosh. All right, that's definitely a way to open things. I'm not blocking anything crucial with my fat head, am I? Okay, I'm gonna just move my stupid face over a smidge. There we go. I'm gonna take up as little of the screen as possible. All right, so really strong opening here by the elves. That was a really nice catch. We see the Carrion do come down on the ground and get immediately countered by the Illyrian Reavers, who are chopping them up pretty good. They're crumbling very fast. So far, I mean, the High Elves had a really strong opening there. Some of their units are getting picked apart by Boshopti, but the Tomb Kings do have a rather staggering force of undead coming in here. See, the catapults are opening fire, but not really getting any great connections on those thin lines. So far, like, the elves are definitely just so high up on value, at least this early from that. We do see a Plague of Rust overcast going down on these Ushapti, probably to try and make it where the archers can deal a lot of damage, because it knocks their armor down to a mere 30. The archers will do some good damage, but they're pretty much already out of range, so not going to be able to capitalize on that super duper well. Here we do see the High Elves are bringing in tons of Rangers, 3 units of Rangers spawning on the top side of the field. The High Elves have managed to capture this bottom objective. We have Tomb Guard coming in, but they are being countered by White Lions, who will be able to chop through that armor and give them a pretty nasty slap, though their melee attack is pretty heavily countered by that melee defense. But there is a lot of archer fire to also help do that. Where'd I get the t-shirt? This t-shirt is from my personal merch store. You can go to my Only Slans. Yes, we do actually own that domain. Or Tavern Prince. We are not associated with Total Tavern. It's just a coincidence, but you can go to either of those links. I think if you type !merch in chat, it'll pop up. But yeah, this is one of the shirts I designed, or had designed. We got another Great Eagle coming in from the High Elves. Things are looking kind of rough for the Tomb Kings at the moment. They are starting to get into battle. We've got a Tomb Scorpion plowing through groups, though he is taking a bit of good damage. The Carrion do actually manage to get on the Archmage, so she is going to have to get away out of there real quick. That being said, she does have a speed of 110 compared to their 100, so she can outrange them pretty well. She is starting to get Spirit Leech by Archon the Black. Catapult is still getting in some really good damage. The High Elves really need to get rid of that last catapult if they're going to kind of take on this more defensive setup. We do see that the Kepler Guard are getting fired upon by the Sisters of Avalorn, which is a really good pick because they do have regeneration, so they have a weakness to fire. So they are going to take significantly higher damage from the Sisters of Avalorn. We see Plague of Rust going down on the Kepler Guard, so these archers can shoot them in the back and wear them down really quickly. Catapult is getting a lot of really good damage in, but the High Elves are still up on value by like 1,300. They've fully secured this bottom objective by wiping out the Tomb Guard down there. Carrion are doing a good job chasing off archer units, as are the catapults.
Good luck to everyone in the tournament, and I wish towels to all those sweating hard.
But oh, your match is over. Whew. Oh, I should have asked everyone to save replays and send them to me. Dang it. That's okay. I'll get what I can from people. If people remember their replays, I'll get them. All right, we see here comes the Ushabti summon from the Tomb Kings. The Tomb Kings are definitely struggling. Like they've kind of consistently been now about 12 to 1,300 points behind in value. We see Archon the Black is running in to try and chase off these Silver Helms. But there's now some like fairly heavily armored cavalry coming out, likely to counter these Nehekara horsemen, who are like looking to capture this objective. But the Silver Helms are going to be able to absolutely flatten these dudes. They don't really have the ability to deal with heavy armor, and Silver Helms are quite well armored, though those catapults definitely aren't hurting. So we do have a fight breaking out there. The High Elves are starting to recapture the objectives up here. We do see that the mass swarms of Rangers, Archers, and White Lions are forcing back the Tomb Kings all over the place. We've got the Sepulchral Stalkers here getting chopped up by the White Lions, backed up by the Rangers. The Tomb Kings have fallen apart in this center section. Archon the Black is very overextended, but the High Elves don't really seem to have anything nearby to help deal with him. We do see that the Eyes of the Desert are getting some really nice arcing shots over here. The Archmage is continuing to take a lot of Spirit Leech damage, but she's still got about 50% health, and is making her way back. The High Elves now are at a double cap, but the Tomb Kings have really caught up in value, though. Saurus Blood been doing a really good job just running around, engaging enemies on all fronts, keeping people busy. His catapults that he summoned over here are getting some really good value on this objective. The High Elves may have a double cap, but they're still catching up from a negative they were at earlier, and now the Tomb Kings are less than 1,000 points behind. But it seems like the Tomb Kings are kind of spent on the High Elf deployment side of the battlefield. One of the Ushabti with great bows is getting taken out by the Great Eagles and Rangers. I don't know what just teleported out, but so it's looking like the High Elves may finally have kind of pushed the Tomb Kings out of their deployment zone, and you can see that because the High Elf value has jumped up back to a 1,400 point lead as they're finishing off a bunch of these units. So a lot of these Tomb King units are suffering from crumbling now. Archon the Black's getting hit with Plague of Rust, and these White Lions and Silverhelm or Aurelian Reavers and Archers are kind of chasing him off to make sure he stays away. I'm really thinking the Tomb Kings are going to have a very hard time coming back from this. Like, while they are holding off the High Elves, or they are like damaging the High Elves, the High Elves have very resolutely pushed them out of this side of the battlefield, and the Tomb Kings really don't have that much left. There are 18 High Elf units on the battlefield and only 8 Tomb King units, which is really rough. Especially with Archon the Black in the lead. You know, he only has Spirit Leech, so he doesn't really have a lot of spells that are going to be able to turn the tide necessarily. I really don't think there's going to be a way for the High Elves to easily turn this back in their favor. Like, they're not going to have enough magic to Spirit Leech the Archmage to death. And now the entire High Elf army is going to be advancing towards the center, where they're probably just going to be able to keep pushing the Tomb Kings back. Which is definitely a rough scenario. Sepulchral Stalkers getting some pretty nice shots into the flanks here while they're trying to help Archon the Black. sort of secure this objective. Some really good shots by the catapults. Those catapults for the Tomb Kings are so good. They get in so much effective shots. And then over here we do see that the Tomb Scorpion is going up against the Eagles, which is actually kind of a spooky matchup for him. Like overall he will do well in that fight, but the Eagles are skilled enough against single entities that they can hurt him. We see the High Elves have gotten a double cap and they're quickly heading for a triple cap. The only thing holding that bottom objective is the Chosen of the Gods, but there are tons and tons of cavalry. There's like a unit of Aurelian Reavers. You got Silver Helm. There's more Aurelian Reavers heading for that Screaming Skull catapult, and it's going to shut it down pretty hard. We do see skeletons are summoned to help with the Tomb Scorpion, but it gets hit by Sundered Armor, and the Saurus Blood is going to go ahead and call it a match, and that is the end of our first match. So great game to both players. That Archmage got incredible early value with that Dwellers Below pick on one of the catapults. That was such a good early catch, and like a lot of the archers were able to get a ton of good mileage, and the Tomb Kings they almost were able to kind of come back when they got into the back lines and really started messing with all the archers, but they just weren't quite able to capitalize on it well enough. And the High Elves they really got effective use out of those, just mass summoning as many rangers as they could to really fight back their foes. And great game. All right, I do need to put a note. One final note: if you get to semis, please wait for me to spectate so we can catch those games. All right. So let's see if we can, we'll see if we can catch another one. See if there's anybody that is maybe just got into. Okay, looks like we're gonna be waiting for just a minute for another match to pop up. But yeah, oh, it should be, hold on, is this, I have to refresh to update this. Oh, I wonder if we can catch Flying Taco versus Random Nicks. Let me see. Morning 8. Let's see, they'll be playing on Arnheim. Let me see if they're random. Y'all started yet? Yeah, Sourceful, that was a great game, dude. It was a good match. That early Dwellers, man, that was brutal. That was hard to bounce back from, because it just kind of robbed a lot of that ranged firepower. Lobby name? Lobby name is XD. I don't see that one. Is there a way to spectate with the join code? Does anybody know? It's right below Tomb. Oh yeah, you're right. I'm just stupid. I'm not a smart man. I don't know where X comes in the alphabet. Ooh, Tomb King or Vampire Counts versus Ogre Kingdoms. Here we go. Now this will be a match. This will be one for the storybooks. So we got the Ogre Kingdoms coming in with a Slaughter Master who's got extra ingredients and Troll Guts, I think is his only spell. Yeah, I know. We got Random Nick's going all in with the vampire counts, and Flying Taco coming in with the ogres of all things. This will be interesting. Are there any particular rules for this tournament? Yeah, so the basic gist of Sotek's Total War Warhammer Tabletop Tournament, I need to come up with a better name for it, is that basically you have to submit your army list before the tournament begins. So you have to send in your army before the tournament even starts, and without knowing who you're playing, what you're playing, or what the maps are. And once the tournament begins, you are locked into that map. Like, you cannot change your army in any way, shape, or form for the rest of the tournament. You play the same army for the entire tournament, and every single game is best of one. Hey, Frigid Wayfarer, thanks so much for the 2 months. All right, so we've got the Slaughtermaster, only has Troll Guts for his only spell. The Fire Belly coming in with Burning Head and Flaming Sword. We've then got 5 units of Noblars. We've got a Noblar Scrap Launcher. The Sky Striders, which are the Crusher with Great Weapon ROR, who are very good at flattening things they don't like. We've got a unit of Lead Belchers, and then looks like 3 or 4 Ogre Bulls. Meanwhile, over the Vampire side, we've got double Crypt Horrors. We've got Manfred on a Hellsteed up in the air with Raised Dead and Spirit Leech. We've then got, looks like, we got the Konigstein Stalkers and 4 Skeleton Warriors, 1 Skeleton Spear, and then the Tithe, and I think 4 other zombies. We've got 2 Necromancers, both with the Forbidden Rod and Raised Dead, and then we've got a Corpse Cart with Unholy Lodestone. This is a brutal vampire count army. The ogres are gonna have their work cut out for them, I'll tell you what. So it begins. Oh, foul, yeah, no, this is a brutal, I would not want to fight this. This army is, this is an army meant for winning and nothing else. See how the ogres try and counter a bunch of dead meat. Imagine Manfred's probably going to go for some kind of easy early pick. He dodges a couple of Lead Belcher shots, but he also eats a handful. I mean, he'll heal from that almost immediately. I suspect he was looking for something over here. Looks like he's going to go for a Raised Dead on the Lead Belchers, which they should be able to avoid pretty easily. We do see the bulls running here to squish these guys. Lead Belchers are moving on real quick, and ogres are getting on all the points with their Noblars. Manfred does hop down here for a couple of early easy damage. Nothing the Noblars are really going to be doing about that, but the Lead Belchers are able to disengage pretty easily from the zombies, so no issue there. We see some Noblar trappers coming out of the forest to help out with things, and stuff is about to get serious. Forbidden Rod's already firing off to give Manfred as much magic as possible. Manfred, of course, does have the Sword of Unholy Power, so it is good for him to fight as much as he can, because that's just, you know, more free magic. We've got lots more Raised Deads coming down. We've got Cryptors beating up on Noblars and then immediately eating a bunch of shots to the face from the Lead Belchers, who are getting some really, really good volleys in. Looks like the ogres are slowly going for some surrounds to try and figure out some really good positions. But the fighting has begun completely and utterly in earnest. In any event, we've got Cryptors doing their best to just absolutely push through the line. We've got Noblar Scrappers coming out in front, firing some more volleys into... Man, those Cryptors are actually taking a bit of a beating. I mean, they'll heal from it, but they definitely are... they're definitely having some ouches. But it looks like the vampire counts have pretty much committed to these bottom 2 objectives. We got a little bit of lag, but not a huge issue by any means of the imagination. Ogres are finally slamming into the vampire forces here. holding them down for a really nice burning head. That's going to get some really solid damage on those skeleton spearmen, which are really the only anti-large the vampires have right now on the field. You see the Slaughtermaster is getting spirit leeched and attacked by Manfred. If he, I almost wonder if it'd be better for him to turn and fight, maybe bring in the Fire Belly to help. But we do see the Noblars are capturing the top objective. The Noblar scrap launcher is just firing into the swarms of undead, doing its best to hold them back. I don't see the okay, so the Sky Striders are still kind of just moseying around the backfield. Not sure what they're going for, if they're looking for we see extra ingredients going off on the Slaughtermaster. He also used Butcher on himself, so he unlocked Butcher pretty fast. He's using that for those sweet heals. Him and the Slaughtermaster trying their best to fight back against Manfred and hold him back. The Sky Striders need to get over here. Oh, a Stonehorn! Wow, okay, so Ogre Kingdoms were definitely saving up as much as they could on their supplies, and they're able to get a freaking Stonehorn out on the battlefield, which the vampire counts may actually struggle a bit with. I don't know if they have any easy immediate answers to that. We do see the Sky Striders come smashing into where Manfred was just a second ago. Looks like he did manage to disengage and get up in the air before anyone locked him down. The Slaughtermaster did take a bit of a beating, but he was able to retreat to safety. We see the vampire counts are slowly claiming objective 2. Crypt Horrors are locking down objective 3. More of them looks like are showing up on the battlefield with every second. We see the Lead Belchers are trying their damnedest to stay alive. The Sky Striders are really on duty to keep smashing a lot of these flyers, preventing them from, permanently getting rid of those. The Stonehorn doing a great job, just going after large groups of infantry, wiping them out. A really nice burning head in the back from the Fire Belly. He not only catches a bunch of vampire units over here, but manages to catch it all the way over to this side of the battlefield, crumbling their leadership and doing a lot of AoE damage. We see here that Manfred is finally actually caught out by some Ogre Bulls and the Fire Belly. He's got to be careful. If Manfred actually gets killed, that could be disastrous. But we do see that the Devils of Schwarzhofen are coming in to save the day. They come plowing into those poor Ogre Bulls, and those Ogre Bulls are just getting ripped to pieces. We do see now that the Stonehorn is bullying the Necromancers, trying to get them back. And the Necromancers have very effectively pushed the vampires completely and utterly to their deployment zone, or the vampires have pushed the ogres to their deployment zone. The vampires are up by about 1,000 value, so not impossible for the vampires to come back, or the ogres to come back from. I keep getting those backwards. But man, the ogres kind of need to find a home for these Sky Striders. Like, the Sky Striders are kind of just not getting engaged. They're just kind of staying on the run a lot. Like, they've got a really nice anti-large bonus of 30. You know, they could really be putting that to work, chopping down maybe some Crypt Horrors, or maybe try and catch out the Devils or Schwarzhofen or one of the corpse carts. But it is definitely spooky when you have a situation like this, because you don't want to get caught in a horrible situation with the vampire counts, just because there are, they're very, very good at just mass. Yeah, see, here we go. The Devils of Schwarzhofen coming in, getting some really nice damage on the Sky Striders. And while they would be good against any of these units individually, fighting all of them at once while they're also poisoned, ooh, that's a lot. That is a lot of pressure to put on a single unit. We do see that the ogres are, they get off another nice burning head. The back line of the vampire counts is running pretty thin as far as their chaff is concerned. Looks like this Stonehorn is coming in for a rear charge here. If he can, man, I don't think he has the Winds of Magic for it, but he could really use a Troll Guts on these. Oh no, there it is. So he does actually get off Troll Guts on the Sky Striders, which should actually stabilize them pretty well. We see that the Stonehorn is tearing into these Crypt Horrors, and the ogres might actually be turning the tide in this massive important combat right here. We've got catapult shots coming in for the additional leadership damage, along with lead belcher shots. If he could, oh no, but the Sky Striders break. Oh, they're terrified. Oh no, that's terrible. Oh my gosh, it's so, man, it's too bad these guys are not immune to psych or something. Oh, that's horrible. They got terrified. All right, so they have actually broken. Man, hopefully for the ogres they rally, because I honestly think the ogres were winning that little engagement, because that Stonehorn coming into the rear was really turning the tide. But if the Sky Striders do not rally and they run off the battlefield, and we see Random Nix immediately pulls out the Dire Pack, and he's gonna be able to just jump on them. Yeah, they're gone. Oh my gosh. Like, I don't think the ogres were really in a position to win this match by any means, but I think that just took any chance they had of winning and just dashed it against the stones. Oh man, that is so brutal that the you figure Rhinox cavalry should cause terror. But I don't know, I need to go look at like their old White Dwarf rules. But in any event, we do see the ogres are doing their best to put up as much of a final fight as they can. This really kind of feels like one of those fights where the objectives just don't matter, and the Sky Striders are off the battlefield. Oh, that's so bad. Manfred coming in to finish off the Slaughtermaster, so the leadership of the ogres is about to fracture and break. I just don't see a way to come back from this for the ogres. Like, I mean, they've still got that Stonehorn, who can pretty much single-handedly kill anything that the vampires are going to bring to the field, but he's not going to be able to help with capture weight at all. Yeah, man, losing the Sky Striders to terror like that, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. That was so unfortunate. But yeah, like, there's just kind of like a big mass fight here. I'm sure this is one of those moments the ogres wish they had all their lores of magic. An ogre butcher of heavens with like comet or chain lightning or something would probably be very nice right now. But alas, is not to be, at least these days. We see the fire belly is about to get absolutely ripped to pieces. What even terrified them? Oh, it was the Devil's Schwarzhoffen. Yeah, oh man, that is a bummer. And we can see the ogre army is pretty much collapsed in its entirety. Like, there's a couple of small things holding out here and there, and Flying Taco's gonna go ahead and concede the match. Oh man, that was brutal. Absolutely brutal. I think the ogres really played as best they could. Like, I honestly felt they were doing a really good job. You know, they were definitely behind, but they were very well positioned to win that big monster melee that was happening. And then the Devil's just Schwarzhoffen getting that terror pop. Oh, that was heartbreaking. That was absolutely heartbreaking to witness. But it was a good game. It was a great match. Random Nix is definitely, I think, looking very, very strong for this tournament. And Flying Taco being a hero of the people and really fighting it out. Was a good game. A good game. All right. Let's see. Who is this? Okay, no, he figured it out. All right. Let's see if we can hop into another game here. Let's see. So Random Nix is about to fight somebody again. I'd like to catch as many different lists as I can. So let's see. Is anybody else about to play? Oh, it looks like Trex and Nilo. What is lobby name?
Another wretched foul lizard thing.
Taldrazim. No, Taldrazam. Thanks so much for the 3 months. Welcome back. Hope you're all, hopefully the tournament is entertaining to watch so far.
Another wretched foul lizard thing joins the red host. Cursed Sotek spawn.
The Wolf, thanks for the year. Oh my gosh, a full year of support. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate that. Oof. Okay, here's the... Can I spectate as... Oh, there he is. I see him. Wait, is that what I clicked on? That's not what I clicked on. I saw it. It was... There you go. Oh, we got Dowie! Brave Dowie! Oh, Random Nicks versus Mofet is going to be a sweaty match. Nice. All right, we'll just wait for Trex's opponent. Oh, man. Oh, tell you what, I'm excited for next weekend. I'm going to be going down to Houston to see a musical, which, like, part of me is like, oh, I gotta drive down to Houston, but it should be fun. A friend of mine, she got tickets to see Hadestown, and I am very much looking forward to that. As much as I fucking love musicals, but I haven't been to see a musical live in a hot minute. So I am very, very much looking forward to it. Mofet brought Slanesh Marauder spam. Oh, sweet Jesus Christ. That is, part of me is like, oh, we should go watch that match. But at the same time, it's like, no, everyone's already seen that match 1,000 times. I'm actually doing pretty well with just hopping from game to game, so that's nice. I like this dwarf build. We got a Rune Lord with the Rune of Doom, the Rune of Wrath and Ruin, and the Rune of... Oh, it's Thoric. The Rune of Doom, Rune of Wrath and Ruin, and Rune of Slowness. Got 2 Thanes, a cannon, double Ironbreaker, 3 warriors, 3 quarrelers. And then for the reinforcements, you got hammerers, another cannon, rangers with crossbows, a lot of miners with blasting charges, some slayers. Not a lot of anti-large, but then again, like, you know, super large things are gonna usually be a little more rare in domination. But ogres need a little bit of leaven. Yeah, they do. Can you still join the tournament? Unfortunately not. We've already started for today. However, Baron Lloyd, starting on October 15th, this will be a weekly series every Saturday, with the only reason we won't have one is because I'll be out of town. So like starting October 15th, there will be one every Saturday. Anti-Catacross? Well, that's just political. Oh, man. Khorne versus dwarfs. Oh, this is gonna be really interesting. Blood for the Blood God versus Kazukan Kazukit Ha. Chad, are you pro blood or pro beard? Oh, Kitsune, congratulations. I hope that all goes very smoothly, and joining on that journey will be great. Will there be Tale of Two Gamers tomorrow? Yes. Pro beard, blood, beard, blood. You can run the tournament next. Foul, if you want to do that, hey man, feel free. Dosick, you sexy son of a bitch. Tier 3 for 49 months? What the hell? 49 months. Bro, you've been a sub for over 4 years? What the fuck? Oh my god. Dear Lord, Dosick. We need to have you on a payroll or something. We're gonna have to retire you with benefits. All right, so here we go. We've got Scarbrand the Exiled with Slaughter and Carnage. He's got Fleshhounds. We got Marauders. We got Furies of Khorne. Got Marauders of Khorne, bringing up the back. Ooh, we got a Cultist of Khorne up on a War Shrine. Dude, this is gonna be interesting. Like, these two are gonna slam into one another. Only relationship I've been in longer is with my partner. So, man, the dwarves are gonna have their work cut out for them very much early in this match. So we're probably gonna see the cannons just slam into Scarbrand immediately. They got a glancing blow. There's only one unit of Furies. Okay, there's one unit of Furies that the dwarfs need to make absolutely sure does not get on the get on their cannons, at least until they can get some damage. We see Thoric is not hesitating. He's like, carry me to the front. Looks like the Furies are starting to go in. Dwarves are moving their way across the battlefield. Man, these are the bravest Thanes in the universe right here. Scarbrand gonna vomit some fire. Wow, that does really good damage. Ooh, good cannon shots though. And so it begins. Oh, those marauders. Oh my lord. So he goes for Wrathful Reaper. He's going all in. Ironbreakers are frenzied. But the Thanes aren't backing down. They're going in. Let's see. Meanwhile, we see that the Furies are getting absolutely destroyed by Quarler Fire. Ironbreakers are messing up Marauders. Oh my god, those Marauders are getting absolutely devastated by those blasting charges. But the Cultist is going in now, and he's, of course, going to be feeding off the death. So even though these Furies are dying, they are going to be feeding this... they're feeding the War Shrine with their death. So the War Shrine is getting more powerful and buffing the combat stats of nearby units. Here we see Scarbrand is below 50% health. He's actually taking a beating from those cannons and the double Thanes. Like, the Thanes are actually pushing Scarbrand back. He is going to need to retreat. We do see that Khorne is capturing the top objectives. It looks like the Anti-Catacross is having a little bit of trouble microing his Fletchhounds, but now he's kind of getting the hang on it. Scarbrand needs to watch himself. That he needs to get some Furies on that cannon if he can. Even if they can't destroy the cannon, just taking it offline for a little bit would help immensely. We do see Quarlers and Rangers teaming up on the Cultist of Khorne, slowly but surely starting to bring him down. Thoric is almost dead, though. Thoric is losing like hundreds and hundreds of health per hit from Scarbrand. He is getting absolutely eviscerated by the Blood God's most powerful servant. But he does not stand alone. The Dragonback Slayers have arrived to push back the foul demon. Meanwhile, up here we can see that Khorne has secured this objective. Scarbrand getting some nice damage with his flame breath over here on Scarbrand. He is eating some more cannon shots, so like he's hurting. Like he's hurting pretty big. He's got the rune of slowness on it. And he's rampaged. So Scarbrand, Khorne has lost control of his Scarbrand because he did pop Wrathful Reaper. So Scarbrand is just going in mindlessly. And while he is going to be killing a lot of dwarfs, ultimately, they have him right where they want him. He's surrounded by Slayers, Thanes, cannons, and down goes Scarbrand. Oh my gosh, the frenzy leading him to his doom. And the dwarves have secured 2 of the objectives. Most of the Khornate Horde now is made up of Marauders. We do see that warriors are starting to come onto the battlefield. We've got some warriors here, but Thoric Ironbrow unleashing the Rune of Doom to give those to give all dwarf units causing fear and a big buff to their melee attack, which did actually allow the Quarlers over here to beat back these Furies quite significantly. And those blasting charges are just getting their money's worth. Like, even the Warriors of Khorne are taking just an absolute beating in a lot of these places because of those blasting charges. And we see Thoric Ironbrow and taking no guff from the Warriors of Chaos. And they have very much secured this objective. A second set of cannons has arrived on the battlefield, and the dwarfs have complete mastery of this side of the battlefield. Honestly, Khorne's gonna have to pull something insane out of his hat. He is down on value by almost 5,000 points. I really don't think there's anything Khorne could do at this point. Like, there's just way too much on the battlefield for him to deal with. Like, there's a lot of the dwarf characters are very low, but Khorne doesn't really have any way to engage or run them down. There's almost 10 more dwarf units than there are Khorne units on the battlefield, and yeah, I just don't think he has anything really to give him the mileage he would need to destroy these targets. And like, the Marauders are trying to use superior numbers against the dwarfs, but Trex is just landing all these just sniper shots. Look at those blasting charges. Good God. Yeah, those Khorne is getting so hard countered by the blasting charges. It is just brutal. This is an absolute massacre for the Legions of the Blood God. Like, at best, he might be able to hold on to this top objective, but like, there are now dwarf hammerers showing up on the battlefield. And Khorne, he just doesn't have what he needs. Like, he needs like blood crushers, or he needs just significantly more stuff out right now. Where's Kilgore Slaymain when you need him? Yeah. Oh man, yeah, this is brutal. You know, Scarbrand was actually doing a good job, like, eliminating all the characters in that little battlefield in the middle, but unfortunately his support just didn't last long enough, and he kind of got isolated. And then on top of that, those cannons just put an absolute beating in on him. Unfortunately for Scarbrand, with his death, the forces of Khorne are not far behind. What is that noise? Blasting charges OP. If they land, they sure are. Yeah, dude, these hammers are going to rip up anything that's left here. I mean, look at that. Oh my gosh, it's like 1,000 or 2,000 damage. Like, all the demons just immediately crumble away into dust. Those blasting charges got like holy napalm in them. Oh yeah. Yeah, dwarves are up by 6,000 points in value. Oh, sweet Khorne. Sweet Khorne, you did your best. You did your best. Yeah, Hammer's got runic weapons, so they got magic attacks now. Woo, boy. That was a massacre. Scarbrand like came in swinging and really like did a number. He almost wiped out the dwarf character line, but man, those cannons just managed to just keep sniping him and really dealing a lot of damage. And then the double Thanes, and then the Dragonback Slayers came in to finish him off. Like, it was, the dwarves had everything they needed to deal with him, and he just didn't have enough support in that center battle. Hot damn, what a match. Great game. Great game. All right, let's refresh this page and see how we're looking. We don't have any semis yet. Random Nicks and Mofit are still fighting. Oh my gosh. Let's see if we can catch, let's see. I wonder if we can catch, let's see. Morning Ape. There we go. Nope, not join. Nope, not that. Oh, I need a spectator slot. Morning. Can you open a spec slot, please? Who's messaging me in the... Oh, local tourney. I should go to that. Who's Morning Ape fighting? He's fighting F-Pod. How many bloodletters would it take to kill a hammerer? I mean, if they got the jump on him, not that many. But if, like, if it was like a fair showdown between the two, it'd probably be like, you'd probably need like 2 or 3 bloodletters. But like the thing is, it's not so much that the bloodletters would have a really hard time killing the hammerer. It's more that they would have a hard time not being killed by the hammerer. All right, so we got Morning Ape coming in with the Legions of Zinch, and we are waiting for his opponent to join us. Who would win, a bloodletter, a corner, or a miner as trusty blasting charge? I mean, blasting charges are like amazing against demons, because demons don't wear armor, and armor is pretty much the only thing that's going to save you. I do want to say I appreciate you all joining me today for the tournament. Like I said, for anyone that's maybe missed part of the tournament or anything like that, I will be uploading the VOD onto YouTube pretty much immediately afterwards. So you do not need to worry about like missing anything. You can always catch the recap there, or the stream, and I will also attempt to get any of like the I'll try and get as many matches as I can from people whose games I weren't able to catch that were like apparently fun, like if they think they were fun to watch, and record and throw those up on the channel throughout the week perhaps. But yeah, we're making good time though. It's only been an hour and we're already almost to the semifinals. So that is swell. There's F-Pod. Yeah, more than likely after this match, we will be in the last 3 games because the semifinalists should wait for us. So we'll be able to do both the semifinals and then the finals. Probably be done by probably done in the next hour. I heard that Dawi finally got viable in domination. Is that true? I don't know about the regular format, but in this format they seem to be doing quite well. I mean, a lot of the time, in my experience, I know there are some people that won't agree with this, but in my experience, a lot of the time there are significantly more viable factions than people think. It's just that they have to be played in a way that people have not considered yet. Dwarves have over a 50% win rate? Holy shit. That's actually really good. Good for them. Super Ego, I'll look into the back stuff. That's weird that you're getting them. You shouldn't be getting them at all. All right, so Morning Ape coming in with the forces of Zinch. We've got an Exalted Lord of Change with Blue Fire, Infernal Gateway, and the Portal Glyph for summons. We've got Marauder Horsemen of Zinch in the front line. Marauders of Zinch on foot, of course. We've got a unit of Flamers in the starting army. couple of units of Forsaken, and we've even got some spears. Lovely. Meanwhile, over here on Gelt's side of things, we've got Balthazar Gelt up on Quicksilver with Searing Doom, Plague of Lust, Final Transmutation. We've got a pretty solid front line of spears, 2 units of war wagons, some Empire Knights, 2 units of handguns, one of which is the Silver Bullets, and we've got the Sunmaker. Sunmaker's brutal. So Tzeentch, of course, did see that the Sunmaker was in the Empire starting army while loading up. So he is definitely doing the wise thing and hiding up in the forest to the best of his ability, at least at the start of the match. Obviously, he can't stay up there forever, as he is going to have to compete for these 2 objectives. That being said, we have yet to see a game this tournament where it has actually gone to the winner by objectives. Every match we've seen so far has just kind of been a brutal massacre. All right, but we have the Sunmaker getting off a couple of volleys. We've got, oh, Pistoliers, very nice. So the Pistoliers are going to be coming in to harass the Exalted Lord of Change, force him away, so that I'm sure that if I was that Exalted Lord, he was probably wanting to, he's probably wanting to get in range to hit the Sunmaker with blue fire, you know, ideally. But there are some Chaos Furies of Tzeentch who I imagine are making their way to that Sunmaker. Tzeentch knows he has to take down that Sunmaker. He's got to take it down. Because if he doesn't take down that Sunmaker, it is going to absolutely obliterate anything that tries to compete for these 2 objectives. I mean, that thing does so much damage. That being said, the War Wagons and Handgunners are doing a very, very good job getting some good crossfire on all of these different Furies, forcing them back or killing them off before they have the chance to really make it. We see they're kind of suicide dodging or coming down on these Handgunners, probably hoping to stop them from shooting. These Furies do actually manage to get to the back line, but their barrier is now down, and they're probably not going to be able to get to the Sunmaker. We do see an Infernal Gateway going off, catching the Silver Bullets. They try to escape it, but unfortunately for them, this is one of the vortexes that pulls people in. So despite doing their best, they're going to get caught out and utterly massacred by that. Really good catch by Tzeentch there. We see he's fully committed to the bit now. He summons another unit of Furies. The Exalted Lord, it looks like he's going after Balthazar Gelt, or is maybe just kind of haunting this part of the battlefield. The regular Furies diving in now on the Sunmaker. They are going to be able to do quite a bit of damage, but there is a ton of handgunners here to help hold the line. We see the Exalted Lord of Tzeentch is probably trying to get the hell out of dodge, or at least get his barrier to start regenerating. He is falling back now. The Sunmaker does... Oh, God! The Sunmaker just took a huge ping of damage there. I don't know what happened. Their health was, like, kind of doing okay. Oh, they shatter! Brilliant play by Tzeentch. Absolutely brilliant. That was beautifully executed. Like, a really good use of his Furies that he summoned in normally as reinforcements to distract a lot of various aspects of the army. He got off a really good Inferno Gateway to catch out the Silver Bullets, and then he followed up with that summon right in the middle of the enemy line and manages just manages to shatter the Sunmaker. We see here that that is going to allow the forces of Tzeentch to come spilling out with complete and utter wild abandon, because now the fun is on. There's no longer the massive threat of the Sunmaker, and with that, I really think Tzeentch has allowed himself to become a big threat. Oh, it looks like we're gonna get a really nice final transmutation here. That being said, the barrier of Tzeentch is going to eat a lot of that damage. Looks like it ate probably about half and does a really good job isolating the unit that's being affected. So yeah, no, that final transmutation was completely tossed off by tossed off. that's a way to words. That was a really good job to pretty much negate that. Tzeentch is having beautiful micro play. Not only did he catch out a lot of notable threats, but now his army is swarming down, and the Empire, of course, invested so heavily into the Sunmaker and a lot of these ranged units that are very beat up that their melee line is very weak. We do see the Pistoliers are trading with the Marauder Horsemen, but the Marauder Horsemen, of course, are going to be able to absolutely destroy these guys, either chewing them up in melee or likely able to overwhelm them with shooting. But the War Wagons are definitely still a bit of a threat. We do see the Pistoliers look like they're pretty much being shut down. The Greater Demon of Tzeentch is getting involved. The Exalted Lord of Change coming in to tear people apart with his abilities. Looks like we've got a Tzeentch does a really, man, Tzeentch is just dodging spell after spell after spell. Yeah, Tzeentch is playing masterfully, doing a beautiful job avoiding a lot of really powerful catches that the Empire's going for. We do see that the Exalted Lord of Change is in kind of a bad situation, though. He's in a bit of a crossfire here between a lot of different targets. He needs to get out of there. He does still have about 3,000 health to rely on, but the Empire is still doing a very nice job of keeping Tzeentch out of their back line so that they have a lot of Militia Free Company and handgunners that can shoot with impunity. We do see a really nice Searing Doom coming in from Balthazar Gelt here. Unfortunately, the Forsaken are completely able to avoid any damage thanks to their barrier. It gets a little bit of damage on the Spearman, but it didn't really land, I think, the way he was hoping. We got more Furies coming in. Looks like we might have had an Infernal Gateway about to be cast, but the Empire avoids it and Tzeentch cancels the cast. We do see that one of the War Wagons has been taken down by the Screamers of Tzeentch. The Screamers do have enough armor piercing and anti-large that they're actually a very effective counter to the War Wagons, and they're able to get them under control. Here we do see one more unit of War Wagons is trying to harass the Greater Demon of Tzeentch and kill him, but they are being harassed by the Marauders of Tzeentch, who, because of their Warp Flame passive on their shooting attacks, it actually lowers the armor of the War Wagons and it does make them more susceptible to damage. So they aren't having the best time. It also gives them that weakness to fire, so like follow-up javelins will deal bonus damage because they have flaming attacks as well. We see an Overcast Searing Doom coming down, once again decimating the Marauders, but not doing a lot against, oh well, it looks like he's aiming for the Marauders actually. So he does break one unit of Marauders. This one's pretty weak. These Forsaken aren't actually engaged right now. They're just kind of sitting there. Looks like they finally might be getting involved. They were kind of just sitting there awkwardly wasting some time. But we do see Tzeentch has finally secured his backline. He's gotten rid of all the different Empire cavalry and melee units that were mucking about back there. Tzeentch does still control 2 objectives. The Empire only controls 1. Here, Balthazar Gelt jumps down into this melee. He is trying so hard to pop the center of Tzeentch's battle line, but much more hardy units for Tzeentch are arriving on the battlefield. It looks like Tzeentch has actually totally forgotten about his flamers. Hopefully he remembers them. Those flamers would be extremely valuable right now. If those flamers could come down from this uphill, they'd have a beautiful angle to hit this back line. Looks like Tzeentch has totally forgotten about those demons. But right now he doesn't necessarily seem to need them. Oh, but if this is a final transmutation, it is. Oh, that final transmutation on the Exalted Greater Demon. He takes a volley to the face and down he goes. The Exalted Greater Demon has died, and that is going to give a huge boost to the Empire. It's going to deal some notable leadership damage to the demons, and it's also going to get rid of a major nasty opponent. Tzeentch would have to save up a ton of value to bring that guy back, so he doesn't have access to any spells at all right now. He is Tzeentch, despite a lot of his masterful plays, he hasn't really been able to deal with the Empire's back line at all recently, and because of that, the Empire has managed to jump ahead to 1,500 points in value. So like Tzeentch is still like a little ways ahead on the victory tickets, but not enough. And we do see that Pistoliers are now capturing the top objective. Zinch still hasn't noticed those flamers. Oh my gosh, those flamers would be so good against the pistoliers. Come on, Zinch, you gotta notice your units, man. He's got some, he's even got like a rally unit of Marauder horsemen back there that aren't doing anything that he could like recall or send out to fight. It seems that Zinch is kind of being failed by his micro a little bit. The Screamers are actually kind of seeming to be a little bit of a frightening thing for the Empire. He doesn't really seem to want to engage his knights against them because they are going to be a bit of a problem. But they do get an effective charge timed with a lot of crossfire coming in. And it looks like Zinch is being pushed back bit by bit. Zentler's Reichsguard doing a really good job fighting their way through the warriors. The warriors are trying to push through to get to the enemy range, but they're just getting absolutely decimated by shooting as they move towards the Empire. But the Empire is actually running very low on ammunition. His Free Company militia only has 1 volley left. His handgunners only have 5 volleys left. He may want to consider recalling some units so that they can kind of get put into a better position. But Zinch seems like he's kind of running out of gas. Like he does have units catching people around, but like Furies on these war wagons, the war wagons are going to do just fine against the Furies. Like they don't really have any armor piercing, and the war wagons can shoot in combat. So I really think that Zinch is going to have to pull a pretty big hat trick. He's got to notice these flamers. If he notices the flamers, he could secure this top objective, maybe work his way down onto the bottom objective, but right now he is just completely unaware of that critical unit. And he also, so much of his army is kind of just spread out. If I were Zinch, I would start recalling every single unit that is heavily damaged and try to go for a big summon that kind of do a unified push into the center. But right now he just doesn't seem to have what he needs in order to like build up much of a strike. I mean, that being said, he is pretty far ahead in tickets, but it looks like the Empire is going for a triple cap. Looks like the Empire has captured this objective. They've captured this objective. They're about to capture this objective. Dude, the flamers! Quit summoning units! Look at your flamers! We do see these war wagons are about to capture this objective, and with that triple cap, I really don't see a way back for Zinch here. Like, I think these are, I'm pretty sure this is Zinch's supplies that we see up in the top, and like, you know, if he could maybe recall some of these units, save up enough to get his Exalted Greater Demon back. Oh man, they're Demigriffs. Yeah, nah, it's over. It's over. Yeah, no, I don't see any way back for Zinch here. Like Zinch does have had a nice thing going, but now he's earning 0 tickets and he's gonna go ahead and concede the match there. Oh man, Zinch played that early game so well. He did such a good job, like killing the Sunmaker was so well played. He did like a really good job making the Empire waste one of his final transmutations. But like once he started engaging against that Empire front line, the Empire just stonewalled him, and he was never able to get past it. Like if he had been able to get past that front line of spears and really get into the back line and tear apart all those guns, I honestly think he would have had it. But unfortunately, he just wasn't able to make it happen there at the end. Great game though. That was a great game. And yeah, oh, he just didn't use the flamers. Not having the flamers, I think not having the flamers cost him the game there. Great game though. That was a solid match. All right, so let me see what we're looking at. We should have a semifinals game waiting up for us, but let's go check. Yes. Oh wow, Randomnix was defeated. Randomnix was defeated by Mofet, who is waiting on us now. Lobby name?
Another wretched foul lizard thing joins the red host. Cursed Sotek spawn.
Bababooey.
Bababooey. See if I can figure it out by the name. So Random Nick's vampire counts were actually cast down. That is interesting. But yeah, we're doing great on time. I love this tourney series, dude. It's so fast. Like most Total War tournaments, you know, God love them, but they are plodding, at least slow. Pearls, thanks again for the 3 months, dude. Sotek tourney time, nice. I need a spec slot. I need a spec slot, please. There it is. All right, it's semis time. Oh, is it Dark Elves versus Bretonia? Ooh, I like loreful showdowns.
Peasant! Peasant!
You're a peasant. All right, why is my phone exploding? What in God's name is going on? Oh, it's my family. How would a Blackguard of Nagaron do against a Hammerer? It would be a pretty even fight. The Blackguard is going to be more likely to be like landing hits and deflecting the Hammerer, but the Hammerer is also going to be much better at like taking hits. And if the Hammerer hits the Blackguard once, he's dead. Like it would just smash him. Schroeder, what the heck? All right, so for Deadly Dude, we've got the Dark Elves of Nagaroth with a front line of 4 Bleak Swords and 2 Dread Spears. We've got Malekith the Witch King with the Gaze of Malice, Soul Stealer, Stand Your Ground, and his Noxious Breath. He's also got Destroyer on him and his spell passive. We've got the Bolt Fiends and another unit of Dark Shards with shields, and we've got Scourge Runner Chariots along with a Feral Manticore. Meanwhile, over in the starting army for Slaanesh, we've got Slaanesh we talked about earlier with Mofet. Still a very loreful matchup. We've got 4 Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh. We've got 1 unit of Chaos Warriors of Slaanesh. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Devoted Marauders of Slaanesh. A Chaos Sorcerer of Slaanesh of Shadows on a Chaos War Shrine with Pit of Shades and Melkoths. And then Prince Sigvald the Magnificent with Sliver Slash, Slippery, and of course the Auric Armor. Who will win? Oh, Sigvald is so strong now. Like, Sigvald is like one of the best duelists in the game nowadays. He's very, very good. Hey, dude, Morning Ape, you should feel awesome about how you played that match, though, dude. That getting rid of the way you managed to take out the Sunmaker was absolutely beautiful to watch. Yeah, the Flamers. Oh, the Flamers. It was a close game, though, dude. It was very, very good. Those early plays in particular were just mesmerizing. All right, we got a little bit of lag here at the start, but hopefully it'll settle out in just a minute. We do see the Dark Elves are already summoning some new forces on the battlefield. We've got some Dark Riders with shields coming out here. Objectives will be opening here in about a minute, a little over. We'll have to see what happens. The Scourge Runner Chariot is actually going to be really, really good for harass play against the Marauders if he can get into position. But actually, though, he's probably going to go after the Chaos War Shrine. I'm sure Slaanesh is very, very thankful that he got this map because all of this terrain does give him a lot to hide behind and is going to make his life a lot easier when it comes to avoiding like superior range. We do see here that the Dark Riders are already taking a bit of a light beating from the Marauder Horseman javelins. Scourge Runner Chariots, yeah, if I assume they are looking for a way to harass this sorcerer. We'll have to see if he can kind of get the angles he needs on it. He does come around here to start firing at it, but he is immediately answered by these Marauders who do, they kind of block him up a little bit, get some early damage on him. Nothing to really write home about. Scourge Runners are going to need to fall back, though, so they don't get tangled up in like a big mess. We do see the Bleak Swords here coming in against the Devoted. I imagine this is not going to go well for the Bleak Swords, but they should be able to hopefully get something out of it. We do see Malekith is coming in to get involved with this particular battlefield. Horsemen harassing here. We've got Devoted fighting all over the place. Hellstriders appearing on the battlefield to counteract the Dark Riders, but the Dark Riders are being supported by the Dark Shards. Here it looks like Malekith is not wasting any time. He gets a big hit. Oh, he gets 2 big hits on Sigvald and sort of immediately pushes him back. Sigvald took a nasty little bump from that charge bonus. And we do see the Dark Elves look to actually be securing control of this objective. Scourge Runner Chariots are being very heavily harassed by the Marauders. Dread Spears look like they're going back to counter. Bolt Fiends are trying to hold them back. We've got Shades on the battlefield now, helping turn the tide in the favor of the Dark Elves on a lot of these objective fights. We've got more Dark Riders clash against Hellstriders, which is going to, of course, be a massacre against the Dark Riders. Our first Pit of Shades coming out. Really, really good cast. Going to deal a lot of damage to those Bleak Swords. Malekith does need to be careful that he doesn't get caught out in a bad position. He does answer with a Soul Stealer to give himself some healing and also deal some more significant damage to Sigvald. Sigvald is taking a little bit of a beating. He does have really good regen, but he doesn't have the most max health. So like if he gets burst down, he can absolutely die. We do see that the Dark Elves managed to break this unit of Devoted Marauders and secure themselves some power on this objective here. The Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh do actually manage to rampage the Scourge Runner Chariots. So the Scourge Runner Chariots are going to be completely pulled out of position, which is not great. Sigvald's back here fighting against the Manticore. We've got over here, the forces of Slaanesh are completely and utterly massacring the Dark Elves. It is not looking good for the Dark Elves on Objective 1. The Slaanesh is also just kind of sitting, twiddling his thumbs on Objective 3, having that fully under control. And Objective 2 is still kind of a hot contended thing here. We do see that the Scourge Runner Chariots are just really, really struggling not to get caught in a bad scenario. It looks like they're finally just saying screw it and committing to the fight. We do have the whatever you call it, Murder's Prowess going off for the Dark Elves. Another Pit of Shades going down on these spears here, which is going to be a nice catch and should secure Slanesh this objective. That Manticore got his butt absolutely whooped by Sigvald, who's already healed back into 4,000 health. Yeah, this is gonna be a rough turnaround for the Dark Elves. They're gonna need to find a way to kind of get an advantage somewhere. Like, they've got no presence on Objective 3. Objective 2 has now been lost because it's being contested by Sigvald and the Sorcerer. And then Objective 1 is just completely and utterly dominated by all of these gosh darn Hellstriders. Malekith looks like he is going to get a really nice Terror Bomb here and see off a lot of these Slanesh units. He's crumbling away these Furies. He's fighting back the Hellstriders, but now he is surrounded by Hellstriders. And although Malekith has okay armor at 90, you know, that's nothing insanely great. And he is now going to be completely surrounded by anti-large Hellstriders, in addition to Marauder Horsemen just chucking javelins into him. He does get oh, that was a very nice Gaze of Malice, though. That absolutely ripped through those Hellstriders. A lot of them, though, look like they are getting a bit of a ward save. They've managed to get a decent number of kills. So we do see that they seem to be struggling a bit. They do have a bit of damage resistance. We got a 5% ward save on this unit and a 4% ward save on this unit. This might be the point where the Dark Elves are able to start securing Objective 1. We do have Dark Riders. Oh, really beautiful Narcissism dropped on these Dark Riders, preventing them from charging in to save Malekith. So instead of getting a juicy charge on the Marauder Horsemen or saving Malekith by getting a rear charge, they're instead just going to be sitting ducks for these Hellstriders, who are going to absolutely rip them to pieces. I really don't see how the Dark Elves are going to be able to come back from this. This is a really rough looking scenario. They had like a good situation going. It might have been best for them to stay focused on Sigvald, because like Malekith was actually doing a really good job beating up on Sigvald. But then he kind of started facing a lot of different things at once, and now yeah. Malekith, though, seems to kind of just be fully stuck in combat. He's completely surrounded by Chaos Warriors and Hellstriders. Sigvald is running in now. He's surrounded by Marauder Horsemen throwing javelins. Yeah, this is gonna be rough. And Malekith realizes, I think, now that he is in a bad situation. He needs to get out of here. Like, the Dark Elves really need something a lot more heavy coming in. They just don't have anything heavy. You know, they got Dark Riders, which are fast, but the Dark Riders are just getting completely deleted by these Hellstriders. He needs like Cold One Knights coming out to help with things. But Malekith needs to leave now. If Malekith dies, like, there is zero chance in hell of any kind of comeback. But I mean, the Dark Elves are down by 4,000 value, and Murderous Prowess is only going to last for like another 40 seconds. So like, yeah, I really don't see anything that's going to let the Dark Elves really bounce back from this. Things are looking very, very rough for them. We do see Malekith is trying his damnedest to get out of there, but like, there's just no way. Like, Hellstriders are way too fast. They're way too fast. They deal poison damage. Malekith is not going to be able to get off the ground unless he has a unit able to help him disengage, which I just don't. That just does not seem like a realistic possibility. So yeah, it's brutal, but like Slanesh, even with the recent nerfs, like Slanesh is still just very, very strong and was able to just get a lot of really notable mileage there. We see Malekith is very close to breaking. He's trying to get the hell out of there. He's actually managing to do some nice little hot skip leaps. He gets off a very nice Soul Stealer, which is going to deal a significant amount of damage to everyone surrounding him. Like, that is going to be a just massive amount of damage here, and he's going to get some nice healing off it. But Malekith is already almost at his healing cap. Like, he's only got, I think, like maybe 1 or 2 Soul Stealers left at most. But Sigvald has now caught up to him. And Malekith is leapfrogging out, but we do see the Dark Elves, I think, realize that there's just nothing he can do at this point. And that's going to be our first semifinal match. It was a good game. Malekith got a lot of really solid work done, but yeah, it's unfortunate the Dark Elves just weren't able to get any early harass with that Scourge Runner Chariot. The map that they just happened to play on, the terrain was great for Slaanesh. Like, it completely blocked him from having to deal with any long range harass, and his Chaos Sorcerer was able to get in without any issues, and then just all those Marauder Horsemen then just proceeded to be an absolute nuisance. And like, you know, these all of the Devoted are able to beat the Bleak Swords, so like they have to be supported by the Dark Elves, and it's just oof. Great game though. All right, so next up, the next semi is waiting for us. Just gotta, there it is. In we go. Ads made you miss the entire match? I need to go in and see if I can mess with the ad settings somehow. I don't tend to tinker with them, but especially for tournaments, I wonder if there's a way I can space them out better, or like manually do them. I mean, Deadly, that's such a hard matchup though. Like that is an insanely hard matchup. Like in my head, it's like staying on Sigvald might have been best, but at the same time, like there's so little you can do against all those Hellstriders. You know, they were just eating everything. All right, so this is our next semifinal match. So the winner of this game will go on to fight Slaanesh. So we've got another Vampire Count player, though Thomas is a different Vampire Count player from the one we saw earlier. We actually haven't seen any repeats today. Like, we've actually managed to get at least one different player every match up to the finals, which is ideal. So we've seen F-Pod's army. We saw him face off against the Demons of Tzeentch, and he managed to come out on top. But you know, he's got the Sunmaker, he's got a front line of spears, he's got some handgunners, 2 war wagons, and some knights, along with Balthazar Gelt leading the charge. And then meanwhile over here, we've got for Thomas, we've got, it looks like 5 units of 4 units of zombies. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4 zombies. Looks like the Königstein Stalkers, and a unit of skeleton spears. And then we've got the Stearnsman and Graveguard, 2 units of Crypt Horrors, a unit of Fellbats, a Necromancer with the Forbidden Rod and some Raised Dead goodies, and then Manfred on a Hellsteed with Wind of Death and Spirit Leech. So actually and Invocation of the Heck. So this is actually, and Raised Dead, goodness. So this is a very different build from what we saw earlier. We do see another Necromancer immediately summoned onto the battlefield, who's completely naked except for the Forbidden Rod. I mean, the double Forbidden Rod is something we've seen quite a bit of. But you know, the first game we saw with the Vampire Counts, they actually were much heavier on the swarm aspect. This army definitely does have significantly more elite troops, thanks to the Stearnsman and Graveguard being on the battlefield. So that is going to give him quite a bit more of a early oomph. But the Sunmaker is also going to be able to kind of unleash some hell. We do see that it does kind of pop a shot off at Manfred, which he just sort of laughs at because, you know, Sunmaker isn't exactly known for accuracy. But we do see already, it looks like a double spawning of Pistoliers coming off here to immediately start harassing these Fellbats. The Fellbats realize, oh shit, dude, we're about to get shot. So it looks like they're just gonna throw themselves in, might as well. We do see is that the only unit of Fellbats? I thought there was one more. Oh yeah, there's one more over here. I'm curious to see how Manfred's gonna try and deal with the Sunmaker. The terrain of this map does give him quite a bit of breathing room when it comes to the Sunmaker. It's not nearly as open, but the Sunmaker does have such an insanely long range that he can actually defend all 3 objectives from way back here. I imagine that the vampire counts are going to be looking for a way to get the Fellbats onto the Sunmaker and shut it down. Of course, the Sunmaker is very fragile from like a defense and leadership perspective, but this son of a gun is being very heavily guarded. It's got handgunners all around it. There are outriders with grenade launchers riding out to start harassing the vampire counts. The war wagons are getting busy into work. We see that Gelt is chasing after the Fellbats to be a nuisance. Manfred, of course, is way in the backfield, probably wanting to avoid getting shot where he can. We see more handgunners are coming out to help. Gelt is going into combat against the Fellbats, which, you know, they'll do a little bit of damage to Gelt, but not really. You know, and they're already crumbling just because they've taken some shooting and now they're getting harassed by Gelt in combat, and his stat line is perfectly good for taking care of that. We do see the vampire counts are slowly starting to acquire objectives and then hiding among the rocks, trying to avoid getting shot where they can. Looks like he's going to be going for a double cap. Doesn't look like he's going for a triple cap. We do see that the dire pack is hidden off to the side in the woods, likely waiting for the perfect opportunity to spring forth and tear into their enemies. Manfred does actually just kind of looking for a place to land. I'm curious what the Empire's overall strategy is going to be. He does have like a really nice little like Fortress of Solitude going on back here, but that's not really going to help him a ton when it comes to taking the objectives anytime soon. We do see the outriders with grenade launchers are on to the zombies. Obviously, they're very, very ideal for this. They've got big explosion damage, so they're very, very strong when it comes to harassing. Manfred does come forward to start messing with them, but I don't think he saw the silver bullets because they are a very stealthy unit. Manfred actually manages to avoid a ton of damage. Considering they just fired a big volley into him, you figure that would get him. Oh, they're gonna get hit by the wind of death. Whoa! Oh my god! Holy crap! They did not lose a single guy, but they lost like 99% of their health. How? They didn't lose a single soldier, but they lost like all of their health. That's amazing. Regardless, they took so much damage so suddenly. I don't think they're coming back. They all got slapped really hard and we're like, you know what? We're leaving. We're leaving. We're not doing this shit. Oof, that was brutal. Yeah, so the silver bullets are pretty much immediately taken out of commission. We do see the vampire counts are starting to offer some resistances here. The dire pack do finally reveal themselves. They jump onto the war wagons and start digging into them the best they can. This other unit of handgunners actually gets a beautiful volley into Manfred, and the vampire counts need to be very careful. They are in potentially a very bad spot right now if they are not careful. The Sunmaker is already shooting in on the dire pack, and it actually is landing shots and getting some good hits in. That being said, it is absolutely tearing up the war wagons and pistoliers and stuff. The Sunmaker might actually have a little bit of friendly fire if it's not careful. Oh yeah, big friendly fire actually. And we do see the vampire counts have gotten that much desired triple cap. Granted, they have to have a triple cap for quite a long time for it to make a notable difference. We do see the vampires are behind on value by about 600. Not the biggest deal in the universe right now. It looks like, though, skeleton warriors are finally committing to the fight. We see the Konstantin stalkers have emerged in the center. We've got a lot of zombies and stuff, but the Graveguard, for the most part, seem like they're being very careful to stay out of the fight. Oh, the Fellbats! The Fellbats got on the Sunmaker, and the Empire player, F-Pod, is completely unaware of it. He has not responded at all with his spearmen, and the Sunmaker looks like it is going to shatter and be completely taken out of the battlefield before F-Pod notices, and that is huge, because now the vampire counts can commit to the fight with all of their joy and really start to harass things. We do see that the handgunners turn around now. They're firing on the Fellbats, but I think it's too little too late. There's a very small chance the Sunmaker will rally, but even if it does, like, they're going to be on the cusp of breaking. So with the Sunmaker out, we see that the vampire counts are now more than willing to advance their more elite troops. We see that Graveguard are now emerging from various places, but Manfred's still playing it safe. Manfred is just kind of hiding over here behind these rocks, staying away from the Empire guns, wanting to stay out of the fight as long as he can. We do have a Necromancer here with the Unholy Lodestone. who's starting to make his way for the center conflict. And Manfred is basically getting as close as he can without committing and coming out. But yeah, we do see all hell is now broken loose. The vampire counts are coming out all over the place in mass. The Sunmaker is, oh man, the Sunmaker is retreating from the battlefield, and it's taking a really long time. Like that might actually be a unit worth resummoning. Oh, we're gonna get another good Wind of Death. Oh yes, another beautiful Wind of Death. It's a shame it wasn't angled a little bit more this way. He could have got both units of handgunners, I think, very easily, but he does instantly shatter that unit of handgunners. So vampire counts are still behind on value though, shockingly, but we see the vampire counts just spent all the money. Summon on another unit of zombies. We got Graveguard with great weapons and Cryptors swarming into the battlefield to now come for the center objective. Manfred looks like he's finally emerging a little bit, probably just for a zombie summon to just kind of keep up the harass, and then he immediately runs back behind the rock. Looks like he's just hanging out by the unholy lodestone so he can get a bunch of free regeneration without having to try very hard, which is pretty ideal. The Empire does have a lot of shooting though on this other flank over here, which is pretty nice for them. Now that he's captured this objective, it looks like he's kind of looking for other places to go. Gets a really nice upgraded final transmutation on Manfred. Manfred's just kind of running like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to, oh my gosh, he's taking so much damage. Woo! Ooh, that hurt. That hurt. Graveguard lost a couple unit entities. The Necromancer took a little bit of damage. Manfred really took a beating there. But it looks like Manfred is finally making his play. He does cast Invocation of the Heck. Really good spell for him to have this match. I believe he used it on himself. Nope, he used it on, oh no, he used it on the corpse card. That's interesting. In any event, though, we see the vampire counts are now swarming onto objective 2, and they are absolutely going to be taking control of that. A freshly summoned Dire Pack is now fighting Empire Knights alongside the zombies and Stearnsmen, and the Empire is going to have a really hard time bouncing back here. There are Cryptors running throughout the forest, doing some running fights against the Empire. I almost wonder if it'd be worth it for the Empire to try and resummon the Sunmaker, but I don't remember how much it costs off the top of my head. The Empire is still ahead by now 2,000 in value. Like, the Empire is really doing well on the value train, but he is insanely far behind on victory tickets. And the vampire counts are not going to give up any of those objectives easily. I think although the Empire is doing much better when it comes to killing things, I don't think ultimately it's going to matter. We do see another upgraded final transmutation going down on Manfred. Manfred, of course, does have Invocation of the Heck that he can use on himself, but he's very close to his heal cap, and he's just, oh man, he's just taking a beating. And it looks like Gelt is not wasting any more time, he's not worried about it. He does get Spirit Leashed a little bit, but I think he was considering going down in on Manfred there. But Manfred is able to get a lot of free healing just hanging out with this Necromancer. We do see that the Empire does manage to take control of Objective 3. That being said, there are a couple of units that are just sort of sitting idle, trying to find ways to get in. Really nice summoning of the grenade out launchers to get some really good damage on the Stearnsmen, who are now on fire. But unfortunately, they are immediately countered by the Dire Pack and Fellbat, so that's going to be a short-lived turnaround there. Meanwhile, the vampire counts are less than 500 victory tickets away from victory. We do see Balthazar Gelt actually does come down on Manfred von Karstein. Gelt is an absolute baby compared to Manfred when it comes to how hard he can hit. He does need to be very careful, but I imagine he's trying to lure Manfred into some kind of trap, maybe. Pull him somewhere where he can shoot him down, make Manfred get greedy. We do see that a nasty Spirit Leech goes off, and Manfred is able to actually keep up with Balthazar Gelt on the ground because he is getting his charge animation. We see a Plague of Rust upgraded go down, which causes Gelt to miscast, but it does actually spook off Manfred, so Gelt is able to survive. But man, he took a lot of damage there for basically no reason. And Manfred's got basically infinite magic because he still has that Necromancer hiding over here, just using the Forbidden Rod as often as it can. as well as you know, his normal stuff. So he's probably just waiting for enough magic to cast a Spirit Leech. About 250 victory tickets left for the vampire counts. The vampire counts have regained their triple cap, and the Empire just doesn't seem anywhere close to getting any of these objectives. He's about to recapture objective 1, but that's gonna take a hot minute, and he's so far behind. He's 1,000 victory tickets behind. Like, although the Empire is undeniably kicking the vampires in the teeth when it comes to kill value, like the vampires are undeniably very far ahead when actually the gap is closing rather quickly all of a sudden, but the Empire was ahead the entire game, often by thousands and thousands of points. They never had any control over the objectives. We see another Spirit Leech going down on Gelt, and Manfred is committing to that final bit, and the Empire is going to go ahead and concede the match. Great game by both players. I honestly think the Empire played that as good as they could. Unfortunately for the Empire, they unfortunately for FPod, he kind of ran into the exact same issue the Dark Elves ran into, and that I think the map really hurt him. You know, he had a lot of really good, he had a lot of really solid, like ranged fire to really harass the vampires, but unfortunately the terrain blocked a lot of his stuff, and the vampires were able to just hide and kind of choose the matchups as they wanted to, and letting the Fellbats get the Sunmaker was just a super unfortunate moment. But, like, you know, the vampires were just waiting. They were just waiting, able to just kind of keep tossing out Fellbats endlessly. I mean, they're so cheap, and just waiting for that one time that the Empire wouldn't be able to react fast enough to protect them. And as soon as that happened, you know, kind of all hell broke loose, and the vampires were able to go forward with impunity. But I mean, even then, you know, the Empire was relying very heavily on like Sternsmen and handgunners, and with those with all of that terrain in the way, the Empire just could not get shooting on the juicy targets. You know, Manfred was able to hide close enough by that he could still influence the battle, and same for the Corpse Cart. All right, so with that, we are on to the finals for today's tournament, and it is going to be the Vampire Counts versus Slaanesh. Surprising very few people. And yes, the finals are okay. The finals are best of one, because I don't see the point in fighting. That's how it would happen in a tabletop tournament. Granted, tabletop tournaments are usually would be round robin, not elimination, so that everyone doesn't waste their time packing up all their models and going there. But I've seen this one. Yeah. All right. So as soon as we get, okay, go time. And this is today's last match. Yeah, I think according to my prediction, we are just a teeny tiniest bit behind schedule, but not anything bad. So this is for all the marbles. Death Pass, Slaanesh and Vampire Counts. Hopefully y'all have enjoyed the tournament. It's been a good time. We might, you know, try a few little different things here and there in the coming weeks for future tournaments. Yeah, Mountains of Morn was brutal against the vampires there. Where there'll be a VOD of the complete stream. Yes, it'll be on my main YouTube channel. Yeah, same thing happened to both of the semis. I think were very heavily decided by the Mountains of Morn map. That map is brutal if you have any kind of like notable range. All right, so you've seen both these armies. There's really nothing no surprises, no tricks left. It's just a brutal battle of tactics. But for anyone who may be joining us late, we do have 4 units of Marauders of Slaanesh. We've got 4 units of Devoted Marauders, 1 unit of Chaos Warriors of Slaanesh. Sorry, 5 units of Devoted, I believe. Then we've got Sigvald the Magnificent leading the army, along with a Chaos Sorcerer of Slaanesh with the Lore of Shadows on a Chaos War Shrine. Up against Manfred von Karstein, up on a Hellsteed, we've got a Necromancer on Corpse Cart with Unholy Lodestone, 2 units of Crypt Horrors, 4 units of Zombies, 2 units of Skeletons, one of which have Spears and one of which is the Konigstein Stalkers, and then 2 units of Graveguard, one of which is the Stearnsmen. So the Vampire counts do actually have a couple of good answers to the infantry. Like the Graveguard are going to be absolutely fantastic when it comes to slapping around the infantry of Slaanesh. That anti-infantry bonus and that higher armor is really gonna set them. And they also have magical attacks because of their white blades. So Graveguard are basically engineered to beat the snot out of Slaanesh units. However, these Marauders are going to be a huge problem. Marauders of Slaanesh are no joke. Tactical Sign, good to see you. Welcome back. Thanks so much for the 17 months. Hot damn. A little bit of lag. Hopefully it'll clear out here in a second. Yeah, definitely for the Vampires, I think this is going to be kind of one of those games where the objectives don't really matter until you kind of get that initial big slap together. If the Vampires, I think, can force Slaanesh into a large engagement where the Graveguard can really start to do their thing, that is going to be better for them. That being said, they do need to be wary of the Chaos Sorcerer of Slaanesh. If the Vampire Count player can save up enough supplies to get his, I believe he has a Mortis engine in reserve. So if he could get his Mortis engine on the field, that would allow him to, I think, very effectively counter it, because then he would also be having that Mortis engine damage effect, but he gets healing on top of it, whereas the Slaanesh player only will be dealing damage with no healing. But it's going to be interesting to see what goes down here. Marauder Horsemen out to have a field day? Very slowly, but yes. Come on, you can do it. Oh, CA, I would love you so much if you would give us dedicated servers. I know it's not going to happen anytime soon, but come on. All right, we do see a nice cheeky little charge here for the Marauder Horsemen and the Zombies. They get some pretty all right damage. Probably going to be seeing a lot of that across the battlefield. We do see the Vampires are sending off units to capture, it looks like, most of the various objectives. So it looks like it's probably not going to be contesting Objective 3 just yet. And the stage is really being set for a big showdown on Objective 2. Hellbat's doing some stalking. We've got Graveguard with great weapons stepping out onto the battlefield. That's pretty solid. The lag, yeah, the lag indeed. Zugix, thanks so much for the 2 months. Moffat is in Russia. That's probably why it's lagging so much. We had dedicated servers, we wouldn't be lagging so much. It's all right. We'll suffer through it. It's all right.
Another wretched foul-lizard thing joins the red host.
Well, we watched Moffat play a game earlier, and like there was some lag, but it like leveled out. I'm not too worried about it. Might take a moment, but I think it'll eventually level out. It's all right. Toad Jammer, thanks so much for the Prime sub. Welcome to the Red Host, my dude. We've seen both these guys play. There was some lag, but it wasn't this bad. So hopefully it'll even out. We'll just get to really indulge in all of the tactics that are taking place very slowly. If not, I could always do the turn strat, just get them to send me the replay. Yeah, good. I'm not crazy worried about it. I tend to consider this series more of like a more of a casual thing, but you know, we'll see what happens. Become a turn-based strategy game. See, now it's a true tabletop tournament. It's not even real time anymore. It's an actual tabletop tournament because now we've got actual turn-based. Oh no. All right, so it looks like Moffat dropped. All right. I gotta read my own tourney rules. And that'd be a bummer to end it on a yeah, do that. It's fine. All right, so I'm just gonna tell them to play it out real quick, and then they can send me the replay, and we'll just do that. That's fine by me. Hopefully without a spectator, they'll be able to play it real quick. They could. We're just gonna have them shoot me the replay. How are y'all? How's life? Yeah, if it wasn't the finals, it, you know, it'd be one thing, but like, I'd rather not end on a quite like that. Chilling, nice. In the meantime, what is Sigvald's deal? Sigvald is kind of the ultimate embodiment of unhealthy doses of self-love and self-obsession. Any AOS 40k events in Houston coming up that I know of? Slambo, dude. Slambo. Oh wait, no, that's San Antonio. Is there I don't know if there's anything coming up. Let me check. Let's see. Slambo's in San Antonio. February is here where I live. Depticon. Maybe Smash and Bash. I don't think there's for for at least my AOS circuit. For AOS, there's no big tournaments in Houston. I'm sure they probably have like monthly tournaments. CD Thomas, yeah, the Houston group is called oh god, what are they called? Hold on. Let's see. The Weird Knobs are, oh god. See, the Weird Knobs are Austin. Who the hell is the Houston group? Slambo is San Antonio. Defenders is Dallas. Weird Knobs there's Austin. Who am I missing? Age of Sigmar, Texas Masters. Grand Alliance Houston. That's what you want. Grand Alliance Houston is the city faction. They should have, you should be able to like find them on yeah, and okay, Houston just had their big tournament. Yeah, so the Houston Hammerfest Grand Tournament was on September 17th and 18th. So it was less than a month ago. That being said, the Houston guys, they should have some kind of like page where you can meet them and like sign up for games and stuff if you're new to the community. Apparently you can contact them at warzonehouston@gmail.com. So if you're new to the Houston area, shoot them an email and maybe you'll maybe you should be able to get the info you need there. Am I gonna play Blood, Shoot Us in Teeth? Probably. Looks fun. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, so I'm thinking not for next week, because I'm not going to be hosting a tournament next week. If like we might have somebody else host this style of tournament next week. But for the one after that, if they still haven't, if a couple of the armies are still really, really strong, we might ban Slanesh in future weeks, at least until there's another patch. I don't know though. I think it'll kind of defend. It'll depend, but you know, we'll play it by ear. Hopefully, everyone that played today had a good time. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing AOS again. Tonight, I think tonight at midnight, signups for the next local tournament for October. No, it's at 8 p.m. tonight. Okay, so yeah, our next local tournament is signups are at 8 p.m. So I'm looking forward to that. I haven't played in a long time, but I really want to get back into it. I need to get out of the house. I spent too much time in this house, and without Chloe, it's just empty, quiet. I need to get out and meet people. Yeah, I played Nighthaunt. Nighthaunt is they're pretty good. There's a lot of different ways to play them right now though. Like there's so many different ways to play Nighthaunt. So like I don't even know what I'm gonna do. All I know is that a lot of the minis I have finished painting are no longer like really what you want to take anymore. So I kind of gotta like, I gotta start painting again a lot. Which is good and bad. Like it's good because I do enjoy painting. I just gotta force myself to start doing it. It's kind of one of those things where like a part of my brain just doesn't want to do it. And then when I actually force myself to like, once I start painting, I'm like, oh yeah, this is fun. I enjoy this. But everything leading up until I actually put my paintbrush into some paint and apply it to a model, up until that moment, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. I want to deal with this. That's like how I used to feel about playing clarinet, like, or bass clarinet, bass clarinet. Like once I was actually playing, loved it. Always had a ball. But like getting the instrument out, putting it together, wetting my reed, putting the reed on, getting everything set up. Like I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do this. Because I have the self-control of a petulant teenager, apparently. Yeah, AOS Undead are super fun. Setup is why you played trumpet. Yeah, you literally just go up and you're done. Just put in the mouthpiece. What genre of music did I play? Mostly classical, but I also played jazz. Any hopes for Warhammer Day? No, it's 40K. I don't care. I don't even know. I don't even know if I'm gonna stream it. We'll probably do a vote on the like the YouTube community page on if people even want to watch it or watch me watch it, because I don't care. How many channel points do you need to get clarinet solos? No, that's gonna cost like $1,000 because I haven't played in like a decade. How much of Undead AOS is going to be in the old world? I have no idea how they're going to handle all the AOS factions in the old world. Like, presumably they'll port over what they can, as long as it doesn't like really fly in the face of the game. But like, there's a lot of maybes out there. Because like a lot of the Nighthaunt theoretically could be in Warhammer Fantasy, and like it wouldn't really be that big of a surprise. But like, you know, obviously like none of the new characters could be in. But like you could do a lot with some of the new designs. Ossiarch should be Tomb Kings. The Ossiarch Bone Reapers and Tomb Kings are very different. As far as like how they actually play and what they look like. I don't think you'll be able to use Ossiarch Bone Reapers at all in Fantasy. The Tomb Kings are going to have their own line. Like Nighthaunt, you'll probably be able to use some of the Nighthaunt units in Vampire Counts. A lot of the Soapblight Gravelords will work in Vampire Counts. Like, I mean, everything is going to be Vampire Counts, basically. I don't think anything from AOS will be usable in Tomb Kings. I think AOS, or I think Old World is going to be like, if you're going to use AOS death models, you have to play Vampire Counts. Because Bone Reapers just have a very distinct look. Maybe AOS factions could be AOS factions. I mean, you're gonna see a lot of overlap. It's just A, it's just good business, and B, like if you have two units that are the same thing, you might as well allow them to exist in both settings, so you don't have to make a different version. Just like how like there's no reason to have a different model if you don't need it, you know. It's better for your consumers as well, because then they're getting better value on certain models. Bases will be an issue. Probably not as big of an issue as you think, because AOS Warhammer Fantasy bases fit into Age of Sigmar bases very easily. That's what I've done with a lot of my lizardmen. My lizardmen are on square bases. Yeah, my lizards are on square bases, but I can fit their squares into their Age of Sigmar bases because AOS bases are just bigger. So like I have a here, I'll show you. Ugh. So for my Carnosaur, right? This is my Carnosaur mini for Warhammer Fantasy. So he's on a square base, right? He's got a nice little fantasy base. But I bought his Age of Sigmar base, and I literally just do this. See? Boom. Oh god. Anywho, that's simple. Good thing his arms are magnetic. There you go. But yeah, you just slot him into the base. He's all right. Most of the the only thing that came off was his arms popped off, but they're magnetic, so it's okay. But yeah, so like, you know, I would recommend most people do that. His arms were ripped off, but they're magnetic, so they literally just pop back on. Come on, get back in there. No! Quit! Falling off! Anywho. There we go. Jesus Christ, that magnet was finicky. Oh, Vampire Coast gets a model range. That would be very, very nice. And very expected. I would be kind of shocked. I would be kind of shocked if we did not get Vampire Coast as a full playable race. Many down! If you've played enough Warhammer Fantasy, or if you played enough any tabletop game, I would be shocked if you have not dropped a staggering number of models over your lifetime. I find it weird that some people think every AOS release and faction is secretly for Old World. I would not say that all. I mean, there are some people that think every single thing will be cross available, which I think is silly. Ain't no way all of them are going to be. But I mean, a staggering number of them will, but it's because they're literally just Warhammer Fantasy units. A very large number of AOS units are just they're just updated fantasy sculpts. Now there are a lot of things that I don't think are going to go backwards, you know, like I think the entirety of the Ossiarch Bone Reapers is not going to be backwards compatible. I think most of the Sylvaneth won't be able to go backwards. but like everything for the Seraphon is still going to be playable in fantasy. I would not be surprised to see maybe a couple of the new things from Sylvaneth and like Daughters of Cain might be able to be playable. Yeah, I highly suspect Gargants, Mega Gargants will be playable. Because Mega Gargants are probably just gonna be a updated sculpt for a larger type of giant. Because like there is a Bone Grinder giant model from Forge World, and it does technically have different rules than the tabletop or than the Sons of Behemoth one, but the model is also like hideously ugly and is very difficult to work with. How much you gotta donate to play an AOS game against me on TTS? Well, I think it would be in poor taste for me to charge money for that. All right, they have sent me the finals. So let me just add this to my replays, and then we can watch it. Okay, I gotta remember where my replays are. Here we go. Nope. There we go. There, and replays. Then I take this and I drag it into this, and then open the game, and it's finals time. I'm sure GW will milk it as much as possible, as they should. As they should. Listen, if they're making something that people enjoy, feel free to milk the shit out of it. As long as it's like enjoyable, like who cares? All right, here we go. We are at the grand finals for today's tournament. And there will be zero lag because we're watching a replay. I do not know who wins, so we'll see what happens. And we don't have to wait for deployment or nothing. We're just going to jump right into it. All right, so
Now is our time.
the forces of Slaanesh are immediately going for the center field. We see the vampire counts bringing on their staff Forbidden Rod necromancers and popping all those to get lots and lots of magic. It's going to be interesting to see how the vampire counts are going to deal with this these early plays from the Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh, but soon we will see. Hellbat's doing a nice job dodging most of those missiles there. Probably on accident, but hey, whatever. We do see, of course, the vampires are throwing forward all of their stuff they don't care about. You know, the zombies are going to be taking a lot of those early javelins. Looks like they are going to try and put some shots into the necromancer. They do get off a pretty good volley. It hurts him, but no, it's not great. But they are going to be pushed back at this point. It's going to be very interesting to see how the vampire counts are going to try and handle this center objective, because like he's got enough stuff here, he can actually wedge the Slaanesh army into this. Slaanesh does need to be careful about not getting trapped back here, because it could actually take Slaanesh a very long time to push through here. We do see the Devoted Marauders are going after Objective 1, where they're going to face off against Skeleton Spearmen. That should be a good matchup for them. Graveguard with great weapons are showing up in the center field to help fight against Sigvald and a lot of his more powerful servants. We do have a spawn of Slaanesh marching out into the center, which spawn are, of course, absolutely amazing when fighting against the vampire counts because they fight to the bitter end. We've got Devoted Marauders, Hellstriders, and a bunch of Mounted Marauders going to Objective 3. The Spirit Leeches have begun and are being unleashed on the Chaos Sorcerer, who, of course, cannot heal. So every bit of damage he takes sticks. Meanwhile, it looks like the vampire counts are sitting on Objective 1. They likely will be contested there. Oh, beautiful Wind of Death. It looks like Manfred did miscast, so I'm assuming that was an overcast Wind of Death, maybe? But he does he really mess up those Devoted Marauders. I'm not sure how else he would have miscast it, but I don't know why he would overcast there. Anyway, we do see that the vampire counts are now fully committing to the bit. Crypt Horrors going in to start just absolutely slamming into the Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows. he's gonna have a very hard time getting out of there. We see that there are zombies coming down behind the Chaos Warriors, more Spirit Leeches, lots and lots of magic being used. However, the forces of Slaanesh have managed to get into the backfield, and they are immediately going for the Graveguard with great weapons, likely hoping to tear them up before they can get into combat. We do see that the Graveguard realize that they are probably in trouble. They're going to eat a lot of spears on top of a Melkos, which is going to do quite a bit of damage to them. Unholy Lodestone coming in to provide lots of goody heals. The Dire Pack is summoned, but is immediately countered by the Hellstriders. The Dire Pack should actually do pretty okay in this engagement. I'm guessing they didn't get the charge, because the Dire Pack should honestly win that fight with their anti-large bonus. Considering they themselves are not large, I'm guessing they didn't get the charge. That must be why they're losing that particular little matchup. Over here, we do see that the Graveguard do actually get hit with Fascination. So they're not only are they going to take a bunch of damage, but they are rampaged, and they are going the wrong way, I think, from the Vampire Count's perspective. Nice Pit of Shades goes down, going to deal a ton of damage to the Graveguard. The Sorcerer of Shadows, like, he has taken some damage, but barely any. So far, things are looking very, very favorable for the forces of Slaanesh. He's getting a lot of really good call-outs on damage. The Spawn, though, are almost dead. Manfred is absolutely tearing them to pieces. And he is getting a bunch of additional magic. We see another Spirit Leech coming down on the Chaos Sorcerer. The Chaos Sorcerer has lost about he's almost lost a quarter of his health. Now he's lost a quarter of his health. So, I mean, he is feeling it, Mr. Krabs. He's taking a lot of damage. The Cryptors are doing extremely well. The Spawn are just about down. Manfred's actually doing really well in the fight. Sigvald's trying to get to him, but the War Shrine is actually between the two of them, which is going to be a big problem. We do see that the Sternsmen are kind of just holding on objective 1, and they should be able to hold that about just against near anything. Graveguard with great weapons get hit with another Melkos. They do need to get into battle, and we see Manfred could be in trouble. Sigvald does actually manage to jump on him now, and that is not the best matchup for Manfred. I mean, Manfred is a good fighter. He can fight Sigvald, but he's not going to win. He probably wants to get out of there. Much better to let the Cryptors just wail on him instead. We see more and more Spirit Leeches coming out. The Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows is now well below 50% health, taking a lot of beatings. We see Cryptors facing off against Hellstriders. The Hellstriders, though, are actually seeming to come out on top in a lot of those engagements. Slaanesh, once again, doing a really good job, getting a lot of mileage here. Oh, we see a beautiful Pit of Shades that's going to absolutely just rip through all of these infantry holding down Sigvald, trying to free him up so he can support his other stuff. Manfred is almost chewed through the Chaos Spawn. The Chaos Spawn are dead. So the Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows is continuing to do as much damage as he can. Slaanesh definitely has a very strong lead when it comes to the like, he's doing well on victory tickets. I imagine he's doing pretty good on value, but Manfred is going to town on this Chaos Sorcerer, who doesn't have very good melee defense, and Manfred's not only doing a ton of damage, but he's also going to be just cranking his winds of magic. It does look like the bonus Necromancer for the vampires was either unsummoned or killed. We do see the Dire Pack comes out, but they get hit by a Narcissism. Really well played, allowing Slaanesh to avoid getting ripped apart by that. The Chaos Sorcerer is doing his best to stay the hell away from Manfred while also getting in kills where he can. The vampires do have a lot of stuff over here, but they are really struggling. We see that Necromancer just get resummoned. There's more Graveguard emerging on the battlefield. It looks like Slaanesh has just popped Sweet Sorrow to give him a major speed boost across the battlefield. We see he's charging all over the place, really punishing the vampires. He's had some really good Narcissism plays all throughout the tournament. Every time we've seen Slaanesh play, he's done a very good job pulling those off. We do see Manfred is slowly taking kind of control here, but like Slaanesh is just getting so much value out of these Hellstriders. Like, the Hellstriders are just endlessly coming in, getting really good charges, really putting that anti-large bonus. Honestly, I would not be shocked at all if in the next big patch, Slaanesh, like, those Hellstriders just get slapped with like more and more nerfs. We see another Spirit Leech coming down on the Chaos Sorcerer of Shadows. He's not quite dead. He is getting there. But like the Hellstriders are just getting absolutely amazing value. They're doing a really good job running around. They're so fast. They're able to only take engagements where they want to take engagements. The Vampire counts do need to be careful. Like they're really starting to fall behind as far as objective stuff goes. And like killing the Sorcerer of Shadows, like it'll be very useful, but it's also taking so much effort to bring him down. Like shooing through that 10,000 health when you don't have any shooting is just brutal. It's so difficult. We do see, it looks like Manfred is going to break free of this engagement. If he can get past these last two little annoying dudes. He's trying so hard. No, he's not going to make it. These two actually do manage to hold him in place long enough for the Hellstriders to arrive. We see another Spirit Leech, but the Spirit Leeches are only doing, like, they're doing good damage, but not nearly enough damage. Especially because he's probably, like, struggling to keep all his magic and dealing with his cooldowns. But yeah, it's only doing, like, maybe 600 damage per cast. Vampire counts are really, really struggling in the center. They just don't seem to really have enough troops left. Like, they only have one unit of Cryptors left, and they're falling quickly. Manfred is basically at his healing cap, and Sigvald is very, very healthy, and I think has barely touched his healing cap. Slaanesh popping off another Sweet Sorrow, so he's able to immediately get a massive engagement. We do see a double Cryptor summon, giving them the ability to actually make it to the battlefield here. Oh, a really nice Wind of Death coming down. Slaanesh does respond really well to that, and with Sweet Sorrow, that extra movement actually did manage to let him avoid a significant amount of the damage. And now Manfred stands alone, and he is going to take so much damage from all of these enemies. Like, oh, well, he does have some Spearmen coming in to help. You see another really powerful Pit of Shades. Chaos Sorcerer gets hit with another Spirit Leech. Is he regenerating? I could have sworn I saw him regenerating health a second ago. He is. What the heck? Oh, Soul Feeder. I didn't know he had Soul Feeder. Damn, that is a lot. I am shocked that guy has Soul Feeder. Having Soul Feeder on a Slaanesh War Shrine, I don't know, that seems like a little much. So yeah, he is actually able to out heal the damage Manfred's dealing to him just enough. My God, yeah, like a 10k health piece that also has the ability to regenerate in certain circumstances. Yikes. Manfred does manage to disengage here from Sigvald and all his buddies, and there is a big fight going on here. We see the Cryptors are completely surrounded on all four sides. The Vampire counts are trying to get in there to help, but there's just nothing that can be done, man. It's just too much. There's just way too much. Slaanesh is getting some really nice uses of various abilities. We see Giver of Torturous Glory is tearing up Manfred a bit. Well, like the Chaos Sorcerer is taking damage, but every time he gets knocked down to about 1200 health, and then he gets near a big fight and starts healing up. Cryptors got absolutely surrounded by all four sides, weren't able to get to Manfred, and are just getting completely ripped apart. Sigvald has complete dominance over these two objectives. He isn't even slightly, like, he completely abandoned objective 3. He doesn't need it. He knows that he's got the vampire counts on the rope, and he's close to killing them. And if he can kill him, you know, the objectives don't even matter, even though he's ahead by 600 points, or 600 victory tickets. There's just no way back for the vampires at this point. It's too much. Like the Slaanesh cavalry is just, it's far too efficient, as is the Slaanesh sorcerer on this thing. Like the two of them, to like the cavalry plus the war shrine, the combo is, it's unstoppably efficient. Absolutely brutal. The war shrine is eventually broken, but it's just far too little too late. Slaanesh is within 300 tickets of winning. Manfred is already at his heal cap. He's completely surrounded by enemies. He can't get out. The doors are shut. We can't get out. They're coming. Sigvald is going to give him one more big slap on the butt, and I think that is going to be it for Manfred. And the second Manfred goes down, there's just nothing the vampire counts can do, and that's going to be game. So Sigvald is going to be today's winner. So Moffat is going to be coming out with victory for the first ever Total War Sotek's tabletop tournament for Total War Warhammer 3. Ads right at the end, of course there was. Thank you all for joining. I hope that the tournament was a lot of fun, that you really enjoyed it. I actually have to get going. There's other things I got to do today, so I'm not going to be sticking around to chat much or anything like that. But I hope you all had an enjoyable time, and everything was, at the very least, fun to watch. But I am already a little late from what I anticipated being the tournament's length. So I will make sure to reward Moffat with his prize money later today. And I thank you all for joining me. I'm just going to send y'all on a raid to... oh, it looks like Lumi's playing Warhammer 3, so that works. In any event, thank you all for joining me. Once again, the live stream for this will be added up on YouTube later today, so if you missed any of it, then you can always catch it without any ads on YouTube. So anyway, thank you all again for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye.